because then I can't be here on time and I can't hang out with you guys. And now this is business lost for bullshit because they can't fucking get their act together or because they push an update out that wasn't ready and it breaks something. Urban style individual.
What's up with y'all? Hopefully this video finds you in good spirits, and if not, well, at least you're not DSP. I must say, Phil is a special kind of pathetic, the type of pathetic that only comes around once in a lifetime. Phil is generationally pathetic because that's the only word that I can find to describe what we are about to watch here. So let's get into it.
Right now, let's get it out of the way. Let's talk about technical issues and the situations that I've been having at this point, all right? Because at this point, to be honest with you, I've just had enough, okay? As you all know, last year in December, I swapped PCs. I stopped using my 10-year-old capture streaming PC and I went to a new one, okay? The PC has been hit or miss. A lot of the stuff about it is amazing. Obviously, I've upped my streaming and capture quality quite a bit. I have the ability to do better quality video and better quality audio now that I upgraded my audio setup. But the one thing that persists is on and off technical issues with this PC. Notably, sometimes the USB ports have an issue where it's a little finicky. Like, for example, my capture device will just stop working. Huh? But I didn't do anything. Why did the capture device stop working? Then I'll just mess with it a little bit or unplug and replug, and it works. The other issue that's been ongoing is the wireless on this desktop. You might say, why do I care about the wireless? Don't you have a wired connection for?
Why would anybody care about any of this? So let's lay the groundwork here for a second, okay? So he's an hour late to his stream at this point, okay? He's an hour late. Now, he decides instead of jumping right into the content because he's already behind, he's going to waste even more of your time talking to you about technical issues that you don't care about, right? Furthermore, why do you believe, Phil, that this is content? Anybody else with a functional mind is going to think, oh my God, I'm an hour late. I got to hit the ground running. As soon as I get there, I'm jumping straight in. I'm not saying nothing. Not Phil. He's going to post up and waste your time even more.
For everything? Yes, that is correct. However, the wireless is needed to connect that PC to many of the devices that I use in my office/studio. Notably, the lighting only works wirelessly. You can't actually have any of these lights connect via a wired connection. Also, this guy right here is wireless, amongst a few other things around here, okay?
This is completely unnecessary. And Phil likes to do this because the only thing Phil is really good at is wasting time and money. I mean, that's just the truth. But he always gives us these backstories that nobody cares about, but that gives you insight into how uneventful his life is because he tries to create meaning out of things that really have no meaning.
I basically need to have the wireless working on that PC to have all these things work. Well, the wireless has also been finicky. It's been on and off, and I haven't really found a way to consistently get it to work. Well, now on top of all of that happening, I'm having issues with my actual lighting program, Signal RGB. This is a program that I started using back in like either December or January. I take it back. I think I started actually using it back last summer.
Not the RGB. Not the lights that, oh my God, should really be hanging in the sky. Not the lights that you bragged about as if you were a spokesperson for the company itself. Not them, right? Not this setup that you are no longer calling an office, but a setup now. And part of the reason why you're no longer calling it that is because you have these special lights, not those lights, right? You couldn't be talking about those.
But then I actually started using it to sync with all of my lights. And that's why we've had such awesome lighting for the last year. You may have noticed all these different themed lighting things that I do for different games, for different podcasts, for different holidays. Hell, I have fireworks and stuff going off in here for the 4th of July. We have Christmas lights going on for Christmas, right? So, is it a huge deal? Well, yes and no. Because here's the truth.
No, it's not a huge deal. because it really adds nothing to the content. It just gives you something else to babble about, to try to breathe significance into it so you can feel better about yourself. It's just another trinket. It's no different than anybody else who's suffering from depression and bipolarism or any other mental health condition. They like to latch on to worldly things to make them feel good in the moment.
I don't think that the lighting in here is super important. I don't think that it's a make or break deal. But just for the sake of argument, all right, allow me to show you what it looks like with no lights.
Look how dented this is. This is only content to Phil Burnell. Look at his smug face. He's acting as if he's trying to prove a point, like he's really proving something. Phil, you've convinced yourself that your content is better because of the lighting. Nobody else is espousing that. There are content creators out there right now who have super low production value because they can't afford it or because they're just getting started. But the core of the content is still good because it has an organic feel. You can relate to it, right? So it's not about production value. There's plenty of high budget Hollywood studios out there who have the biggest budgets in the world and they still make shitty films.
So imagine this was me all day, every day. When I'm playing a game, this wouldn't affect anything. You wouldn't care because it's just me with the face cam playing the game. In fact, it would look much like this. You ready? Oh, look, that's what it looks like anyway, so there's no difference. But anytime that I go full screen, as you can see, here's the full screen setup. Here's the podcast setup. If there's no lights, it looks a lot different. It looks a little boring. It's cool to have lights because then they're themed to different things going on or whatever. But again, it's not the end of the world, okay? But I do like it. Like having the lights on, okay? Oh, I just hit off again by accident. There we go. Definitely adds something, right? And I do like having it, like, for example, if I'm playing a horror game, oh, I'll have it be like blood red. Or if I'm playing a fantasy game, oh, I'll have it be like green and blue because it's like outdoors fantasy style, right? I like that.
This is Phil crying for affirmation. That's what he's doing. He wants to see in his chats that people are affirming the things that he is saying because he's convinced himself that this is super important. Nobody cares about your goddamn lights, Phil. Nobody. Even when you upgraded your camera and your audio, all you did was make it easier to see the pile of shit. That's it.
And it makes the podcast look good, and it makes when we talk, between streams look good. It's a nice feature. Not 100% necessary, but it's nice. The problem is, and you guys probably don't know this has been a hard, arduous task all year getting this to work.
I really wish he would stop using the word arduous to go with or to coincide with the things he feels is difficult because they're not. What this boils down to is his misunderstanding of the things that he's dealing with. And part of that is because he's allowed other people to put these things together. He just purchases them or get them donated to him. But he's not going about the business of actually figuring out how all these things work. We've seen this countless times when he has tech streams, right? He's not really trying to figure something out. He's just trying to brute force his way through it and with the hopes that somebody who do know what's going on will tell him exactly what to do. And I mean step by step. If there's any deviance whatsoever where he's required to think, it's going to be a problem.
I had to manually map each light in my office to this Signal RGB program via an IP address, the amount of LEDs each one has, and then configuring the setup of where it goes in these color setups that they have. They call them scenes. And then once it's done, it keeps messing up. Over the course of this year, I couldn't tell you how many times, my wireless network went down, and when it came back up, all the IP addresses changed, and I have no idea what they are, so I have to sit here for 2 hours troubleshooting IP addresses and LED number of lights in order to get this thing to work properly again.
So this is him trying to give you justification for why he was an hour late. Phil, nobody cares, man. I mean, you're essentially talking to yourself right now. And really all you're doing is showing how inept you are at really basic things. You're talking about struggling with fucking lights, man. This is beyond pathetic, dude. And the fact that you will record yourself doing this and then go about the business of uploading so other people can see this. Do you really think this is the type of content that's going to bolster your numbers, to draw people to you? Or is this going to create additional detractors, more people pointing and laughing at you? Because how else do you expect people to respond to something like this, dude?
Then you have to reposition it all. It's like, what is going on? Why can't it just work? And if anything, I can tell you this. Now I have been modernized with my technology for a year, right? It was actually last summer when I got my gaming PC, and it was since December that I got my modern capturing and streaming PC. It's amazing the amount you can do with it. All the cool features and things. Did I ever think that I would basically be able to have a background that disappears and I could see cloned versions of myself on the screen? No, this is crazy, right? It's cool technology for sure.
Those are things that have existed in these spaces upwards of a decade ago. What you're showing is really how behind you are because of your obsession with it, right? Because people are generally only have this type of hysteria or obsession with things when they're brand new, right? But we know, Phil, even though they're not new, they're new to you. So you feel like a little kid in a candy store. You don't know what to do with yourself. It's just pathetic.
But if it means stress, if it means problems with the stream where I can't be here on time because the lighting's down and I can't get it up and working, I'm like, what is going on? I think it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing, the focal point of the technical issues this year has been Signal RGB. That program keeps having updates and issues, and it keeps breaking itself. And in fact, I actually figured out my lighting issues now are not the wireless network, it's Signal RGB, the program itself. Because I'm having issues with the program on my gaming PC, and my gaming PC isn't hooked up to any wireless network. Okay? Even my keyboard here and mouse here that I use on the gaming PC are having issues with the lighting stuff. And I'm like, I just think I've had enough. I don't really want to mess with this anymore. Like, I'm actually pissed because I was late almost an hour. It's about 45 minutes late to my podcast this morning for a nonsense reason. This isn't like, oh, I can't get the PC to turn on. It's like everything's on, but the fucking lights won't work. Not gonna.
And that's why it makes no sense, Phil, at all. Because it would make sense if you were 45 minutes late because a key component of the operation was not working, like a PC, like you said. That would make sense. But the fact that you're 45 minutes late for some lights makes absolutely no sense because by your own admission, they don't really do anything to the functionality of the stream. You can still do everything you need to do and not have the lights. That's not the case for the PC, and probably some other components in there that are far more important than the lights. But it just shows you where his mind is in terms of what he prioritizes. And that tells you that the audience is dead last.
Sit here, dude, remap the fucking IP. Didn't work. Try this. Still won't turn on. But now it turns on here, but it doesn't turn on here. Fuck this. Really? Why doesn't it just work? I've been saying this since a year ago when we started doing more modernized technology. Why doesn't the fucking technology just work? If you pay out the ass for the technology, right? You're paying for the high-end PC. You're buying all the lights. You pay for the subscription for the RGB program. You got the wireless network set up, and I even bought a new wireless router for this shit because I thought that was the problem. And it still doesn't work?
No, Phil, because all that money that you spent still will not purchase you any intelligence in order to work the stuff. So just because you misunderstand something doesn't mean that it's not working correctly. It means it's more than likely a user error, especially when we're talking about somebody like Darksydephil. See, and this is why it's so important for you to try to chart your steps or try to be informed about the things that you're doing. But you're so dependent, right? You pass everything, you delegate everything to them. So they just prop it up or set it up for you, and then they hand it off to you, and you propagate it off as if you did it or as if it's your own work. But what that does is gives you arrested development because you don't fully understand the cycle of operations and how things work, which is necessary when you're trying to troubleshoot a problem. Because now you've given the intellectual portion of this operation to someone else. So when they're no longer around, you're stuck like Chuck looking like this clown, not knowing what to do, throwing his hands up because now he's confused, right? And confusion leads to frustration, and frustration eventually leads to anger. When people get upset, we get shit like this.
Then there's the problem's not with me. The problem's with the fucking technology. And I only have so much patience. You understand? I only have so much. I want to be here on time every day without bullshit. And I've had enough bullshit.
You can't even be on time to your spare bedroom. This is basically what you're complaining about. Something that's non-essential that you could have still did your whole entire stream with and maybe fix it on your own time because you're about to have a day off anyway. But this is what we get instead.
So I'm putting my foot down and I made a decision this morning. I'm not doing the Signal RGB anymore. It's too much work. It works great for a while. You've seen months on end where it looked gorgeous, right? And I have 2 cool color schemes going on and there's all kinds of shit. But then it breaks. And when it breaks, it pisses me off.
You know what's probably happening? He's probably not updating stuff, right? So there would be some compatibility. It's more than likely a compatibility issue because we know before when he had that laptop, he had it for years and he never updated it, right? Because we know Phil doesn't change until he absolutely has to. So when he talks about updates, I'm sure he's not updating other things to ensure things are compatible. I don't know if that's the case 100%, but I'm just using Phil's lack of intellect as a backdrop for what I think more than likely happened, because I don't foresee him really trying to troubleshoot anything. He doesn't have the tenacity or the determination to really see something like that through.
Because then I can't be here on time and I can't hang out with you guys. And now this is business lost for bullshit because they can't fucking get their act together or because they push an update out that wasn't ready and it breaks something, right? How many times do we see this with Windows? Let's push an update out. Oh, it broke everything. This just happened with OBS. OBS a few days ago pushed out an update. OBS 32 beta. With now the background removal tool that I use. See this? The background removal tool that I use and looks great when I'm doing things like this or when I'm playing games, now will actually remove my chair automatically. Well, that's really cool. I'd love it to remove my chair automatically. Oh, by the way, I guess I can't use green screen today because it's going to delete green on my shirt. See that? Well, now I'm glad that I tested that early to know that. Well, that's a great new feature, right? So what the hell just happened? There we go. That's a great new feature. So let me add it. Let's update OBS. Oops, now my Stream Deck doesn't work. What? Why would updating OBS to have new features for the background removal tool break my Stream Deck, which I need to direct my streams and you know, what?
Look how perplexed he is. He legit has no idea what's going on. But we know this is customary of him. Phil seldom knows what's going on about anything. But this is what happens when you are so overly reliant on people that you do not know. I guarantee you, like I said before, somebody else did this for him. Because he just said that you had it for a long time and everything was fine. So obviously the problem with this is you. You're obviously doing something wrong because you hit the buttons at certain times and the lights come on.
I don't know and I don't fucking care. These fucking nerds have wasted enough of my time because that's the truth. They're a bunch of fucking nerds. They sit around programming their shit and they don't test it and then they roll it out. And if it doesn't work, all it does, it frustrates the end user, right? What do they care? They get paid and they roll out their updates, but nothing fucking works. It's with everything. It's with Windows. It's with all your fucking pieces of technology that are connected to your PC. It's with your phone. Your phone will have an OS update that rolls out. Oh, breaks half the thing on your phone. What the hell? And why is there no accountability? If there's an update for a program and it breaks the program, why is there no accountability for people who broke the program that you need every day?
What would you have them do? The FBI go pick them up because you can't stream to 145 people and beg for $150? What are you talking about? You sound like a damn fool. What you mean accountability? We already know that there's inherent risk that comes with things, all right? And that's what you take on when you decide to purchase those things. Now, it's on you to have some type of contingency plan in place just in case things do not work. You should not be hyper dependent on that. Now, you used to brag about how you do dual recording and you will never have any of these problems. But obviously, you step into a realm of tech that you do not understand. And that's really what your problem is. You just don't understand it, and you don't have the patience, or nor are you humble enough to even begin to try to understand it, because you're not going to allow anybody to teach you anything. You just want somebody to do it for you. You want it to work out of the box, or you want somebody to do it for you. Well, Phil, if you want all this technical stuff around you where there's interconnectivity and wireless networks, well, guess what? There's going to have to be somebody who's technically savvy who can ensure that these things are running on a regular basis. And that's not you. So why don't you just move in whatever dent that you have running tech for you, and then you won't have these problems.
Hell, this even applies to video games now. Because now you buy a video game and the video game's broken. Doesn't work. Oh, glitchy, choppy, crashes constantly. Oh, well, we'll push out an update later. No, motherfucker. Make it work now because I bought it now. If I'm paying you for a product, the product better work. If it doesn't, you should be held accountable. Your balls should be over the fucking fire because you put out a broken product.
Well, you would have to prove that the product is actually broken, especially if you're talking about something legal, which it sounds like what he's talking about. Now, you said before that you did not know and you do not care. You're just not going to mess with it no more. So that means you do not have the evidence that you would need to accuse them in court of putting out a broken product, Phil, because by your own admission, you don't know what the problem is. So again, what are you talking about? You just coming on here flailing your arms and crying and whining with the hopes that somebody will feel sorry for you. And this is your existence. And this is why that's why I say to people, this is a terrible life to live. This is his judgment. He's living it right now. The guy is in mountains of debt. He has no friends, no social life whatsoever. His wife is obese. Look how he dresses. Look how he talks. Look at his people skills. Look at his inability to problem solve, the arrested development, the addiction. This is hell on earth. And to break it down even further, look at the prison system, right? You look at some of these cases, just for an example, something really egregious that happens. And oftentimes, what's on the docket? Either capital punishment or life in prison, right? And oftentimes the families would want for that person to have life in prison because they know that is going to be worse than capital punishment. There are fates worse than death, man. And in my opinion, that is what Phil is living right now, because regardless of how much money he makes, none of us would want to trade places with him at all. Not now, not 10 years ago, not 5 years from now, right? Because we know no matter what happens, he's going to find a way to mess it up.
Period. Without exception. I don't care. I don't like that my work is fucked up because these fucking nerds don't know how to fucking code and they break everything when they push out a release, because that's exactly what's happened with Signal RGB. Signal RGB had an update a couple weeks ago. And since then, I've been having these on and off issues, and I'm wondering what it is. And then this morning, the epitome hit me. I'm like, why is my keyboard and my mouse over here on the gaming PC not working? This doesn't even make sense. It should be working because there's no wireless. It can't be the wireless network then. It's the program. So fuck these nerds. I'm not fucking going to kill myself over this shit anymore. And the thing is, I spent a lot of time. You guys have no idea. I'm not exaggerating, probably 12 hours of time overnight, like late nights I'd be in here.
Now, we don't doubt that you were in there late nights. but we doubt 100% that you spent 12 hours trying to troubleshoot lights. We don't believe that for a second. Does he really think that we believe he was in here in his shorts and white beater, sweating, rerunning lines, trying to troubleshoot, figuring out what was going on? No, Phil. What you were more than likely doing was sitting in the corner playing WWE Champions, drinking your gin with your Discord up on your laptop, begging your dents to help you. And you more than likely pass something off to them, administrative privileges or whatever, so they could do it for you. Because we know this is something that you've done in the past, and you have not shown us that you have the technical skill to actually work through a problem like this on your own. So it doesn't make sense for us to believe that you're trying to do that now. Hopefully that makes sense, Phil, but it probably won't, at least not to you.
Tweaking these lights to try to get them to sync, and finally I got them to work, and now it doesn't work anymore. Like, I literally can't get my lights to work properly with Signal RGB at all. They won't turn on and off properly. Sometimes I'll open Signal RGB, all the lights turn on, they're beautiful. Then I open up again, none of them turn on. But I didn't do anything. I didn't change anything. How is it my fault? It's not. It's their fucking fault. Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So I'm done.
No, Phil. The one that doesn't know what they're doing is you. And I would not be surprised within a year or two if he fries one of his computers. Because if he keeps on with a lot of this modding that he's doing that he obviously does not understand, and adding more and more things to these obviously weak and underpowered motherboards, he's going to start running into even more problems, which is sad. Because something like modding, because y'all all seen the whole Ballad of Gay Tony and how GTA 4 shut down on him, right? And it's just sad to see, because like, this dude has been in this industry for almost 20 years. He even said he used to build PCs, so he should be, or at least have some knowledge of these things. And I'll say this, the modding scene in general has never been more accessible than what it is right now. Even myself, I set up a emulation machine having known nothing about it prior to doing it. I did it about a year ago, and I got some old school stuff on there, you know, WWF No Mercy, you know what I'm saying, GoldenEye 007, you know, the oldie but goodies, right? And so I seen that you can do something like that and upscale the graphics, so I got interested in it. So I went about the business of figuring out how to do it. Now, did it take some time? Sure. But anything worth doing is going to take some time. But that's what comes with being humble. You got to humble yourself and say, look, I don't understand this, so I'm going to defer to people who do. And I'm going to sit here with my mouth shut and my ears open and allow them to teach me. And hopefully, if I'm a good enough student, I can practically apply what my teachers taught me, but not Phil. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Urban style content. I'm dead.